close the doors, walk across the corridor. We got something to show you. Media is our repertoire. Feds with the same use, no channel to use. Cruise control mentalities. Here we offer you. We gon' show you what you way. The content it never stays, but positive and uplifting. Once a week the scope gifted. Let's hear from fake. Hydration like Boucher. Don't focus on a date. We always here for you. MediaScope when you emotionally broke. Settle in our knowledge and conversations, don't make them yours. What we want is a limit, not your hands on the torch. Take it easy like Sundays on the porch. MediaScope when you emotionally broke. Settle in our knowledge and conversations, don't make them yours. What we want is a limit, not your hands on the torch. Take it easy like Sundays on the porch. Now you can walk the brand with no award toys. This culture meets the art, podcast with the heart. And essence of the growth, the powers in the people. Without you we ain't equal, what we lack is ego. We're back now, so here we go, run the show like Arsenio. Episodic, our rituals, minds change to visual. Representation of our nation.
What is going on, everyone? Hopefully you can hear me. Welcome to the livest media, tech, and pop culture party in the land. This is MediaScope, all things media, tech, and pop culture. I am here generally every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern time, unless something goes wrong, and then I have to come on a Thursday or a Friday. But I am super happy to be here anyway. And you can see that I am not, unfortunately, using my regular camera. This is the camera I don't like to use because I just got back in and I said, I don't have time to set it up. I need to just go ahead with whatever camera I have. So you guys you'll forgive me. You'll forgive me, right? Even if not, whatever. So I'm going to say hello to everybody that's watching it, just a few. But if you happen to be watching on YouTube, why not like and subscribe? Why not? It just makes sense. You're already here. So make sure that you like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And guess who I am? My name is Tachi, media professor, filmmaker, media content producer, also a journalist. And you are now in the fold. Welcome. Let's see who we have over here. We've got a few folks. Let's see the gramming of the Insta first. Ask Mark Ward is here, and he has a wonderful, wonderful podcast called The 4-Minute Mark. That's available everywhere that you can listen to podcasts, but I think YouTube is probably the easiest way. So check him out on YouTube daily. It's called The 4-Minute Mark. Thriller 04 is here, as is Queen Be Nice, Beautiful Reflections. Hello, my dear. And hey, Chic B, Sheiky B, how are you, Soror? It is so good to see you. Also, Fantastic Records and Filmworks, Tone. And listen, if you're looking for some good music, Tone on Sundays at 5 p.m. has some sets on K102digital.com. Put that in the chat if I'm wrong, but K102digital.com. He is an amazing DJ, and you will definitely enjoy yourself. You will be dancing. You will be. Also, we had nights. Oh, pleased to meet you and happy Thursday. Hello, Queen Bee. I'm pleased to meet you. Happy Thursday. Thanks for being here. What's up, Betty? It is good to see you. Love you, sis. Thank you so much for being here. Why Terry is also here, as is Trish, all the way from the West Coast. What is going on, folks? Let's see who we have over here on, Mark Ward is also over here too. Absolutely, absolutely. And Kimmy, what's up, Kimmy? It is good to see you. Kimmy, how are you? Welcome. So he says, earrings. My earrings are very mindful, very demure. You know what? I want that to go away. If people are still saying that, I want mindful and demure to go away. First of all, I'm like, people are using it in the wrong way. Second of all, and I know we don't have anything to say about how words get used. That's fine. But I just need mindful and demure to go away. Go away. Find something else. Find something else to do. But I think people are still kind of saying it, but it's on its way out. It's on its way out. All right. So, but before I get going, guess what we got to do? Hugs! Yay! I hug you to let you know that I appreciate you. You could be any place else. And some people are someplace else and not here. But since you're here, I 100% appreciate your time and energy and all of that. So thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Trish says, no more D. What happened? Oh, you're breathing through a better day, says Trish. That is good. Thriller 04, good evening to you. Good evening to you. Keith Wade, Hello. Keith Wade is a good friend from here in South Florida. Keith, I hope all is well. And by the way, I saw like too late that you did a play. How did that go? Let me know in the chat how that went. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations on the premiere of your play. Cecilia Jackson Photography. Welcome, welcome. Good to have you. I miss you too, Keith. Okay, so at some point, I think we have to do some kind of Sci-Fi Saturday reunion. I miss you guys. I really do. Bryson, what's up? Mr. BMZ himself, the king of pop culture, is here. Thank you for being here. And Queen says, my time is valuable. It seems like some good energy. It's what we listen. If I can provide just a little bit of energy for folks, because I know this has been a very rough few days. Hell, what am I talking about? This has been a rough year. Okay. So, but particularly it's been a very rough few days. So while we're here, let's try and make our time worth it, shall we? Let's try and bring good vibes, bring good energy. And I'm wishing that for all of you. And I always try and bring energy. So hopefully this, if at least for this hour, I hope it's at least helpful in bringing you out of whatever mood you may be in. All right. It's good, Bryson. It's going well. It's going well. Let's see. Oh, Sunshine Lady is here. Hello and blessed to you too. Why, Terry? It is good to see you. Okay, Trish says you're elevated. Good, good, good. Elevation is good. And guess who's here? My bestie and your bestie is here. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So again, let me apologize for not using the normal professional camera I do. You probably don't care. I care though. But I just like literally got back, and to set that up would have been a whole thing. So I said, I'm just going to go live with what I have. So let me tell you, it doesn't look too terrible. And let me tell you why. Lighting. Lighting, here's a tip for you all. Good lighting can help cheat a mediocre camera, because this camera is certainly mediocre. It's the laptop camera. So if you have good lighting, you can cheat a mediocre camera. You can even make a bad camera a bit better. It all works together in concert, right? The camera, you need a good camera, but if you don't have enough light, it doesn't matter anyway, right? So lighting is the key in all of this. So don't feel like, oh, I can't do live streams because all I have is my laptop camera. Now, yes, I agree. It's terrible. However, I'd rather have you get out there and make content. So get yourself some good lights, not the ring light, people, not the ring. You know how I abhor ring lights. Go and get some good LED panel lights and just go live with your laptop camera until you can get a different camera, until you can get something else. Okay, so I just want to say that to you all. Bryson says it's been a rough day for everybody after the election. Yeah, it has. So the thing that's helpful that I found when I came live, and I was live with you all on election day, that was very helpful for me. I don't know if for you it was helpful, but I found it extremely helpful. I felt good to be with you all. So live for me is like being with you all. Of course, it's not like being in person, but to me it is. That's why I believe in the power of live streaming. And so thank you all for those of you who came on Tuesday. It was very helpful for me. It feels good. It's like camaraderie. So I'm aiming to do that for you all today. Creed, how are you? Creed's Classy Bling has joined us, the purveyor of classy bling. And she does have some nice bling. Make sure you check her out. Same with me, said Betty, that it was to say, yeah, it was helpful. And Betty came on and we talked. Hey, GSBGSB. I hope I got all the letters correct. Thank you for being here. Fantastic Record and Filmware says it looks good. It's okay. So again, I am a production snob. So this would never be acceptable in my sight in normal circumstances. But again, I can make it better by making sure I use light. Remember, we're trying to be more better. So if I can't be with the camera, I'm damn for sure going to be with the lights, right? Let's see what's happening over on the, hey, MB Online says, hey, MediaScope fam, what's up? Arlesia Maids is also here, gives hugs to everyone. Shalonda, how are you, my beautiful sister? Is giving all of the hearts. Oh, are you having, oh, wait, let's go first. The earrings are mindful and demure, and then dinner first. Okay, you're having dinner. Did you make enough for everybody? Dinner. Huh. Anyway, and hey, the girls club, Jazz is here. What's up, Jasmine? Thank you for being here. It says, so glad you could make a live. We miss you. Girls Club. We really do. And let's see. Oh, Tawana Hughes. Hello. My sister from the Six Figures Club. Is that really the name of it? Whatever. The Six Figures Club. What's up? How are you? And hearts to you. She is actually watching us from Hawaii. So welcome and watching from Hawaii. Good for you. I'm glad that you are having a great time. Look, I'm just saying, you didn't even say it, but I'm assuming you're having a great time. Why would you go someplace and not have a good time, right? All right. So you know what? Let's do this. Joni Red Butterfly has joined us, and Queen Bee says, I wish I could have been there. I was alone and felt numb. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Well, you know what? Know now that when I get myself together, I'm usually here on Wednesdays. Today was a day I couldn't. So I tried to come on after. And guess what, guys? Tomorrow, if I feel up to it, I will do a MediaScope After Dark. And we could just talk and hang for an hour or so. So you'll get to see me 3 days this week. Note, I said if I feel up to it. Because if I fall asleep, forget it. But I will try, and I will aim to do a MediaScope After Dark. Hey, and Tara is here. Hello, how are you? Nat Funk, welcome. Thank you all so much for joining. But we've talked, and so now it's time to get to some media tech and pop culture news. And you know what we do? We always start with media. So here we go. All right. So I know there's probably a little bit of a delay between the time it stops and when I start again, and you're like, why isn't she saying anything? That's why. All right. So we're going to start off with, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put the pictures in. That's what happens when you're rushing. You forget to put the pictures in. So I'm going to do that right now as we're talking. So just hang tight for a moment and let me give you a little bit of not a disclaimer, but if you are just tuning in, guess who I am? My name is Tachi, media professor, filmmaker, media content producer, and I am also a journalist. And this is MediaScope. And we are celebrating, guys, the 9th year of MediaScope. So we are physically actually in the 9th year. And you know what I did not do, guys? I completely forgot to celebrate the 9th anniversary because it was crazy. The 9th anniversary was July 29th. Yeah, and I'm just now saying something about it. So anyway, we are officially 9 years old now. So yay. Next year will be 10. Okay. So for real, I can't forget about for the 10th. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know where it's going to be, but we'll make it work. So here we go. Finally, everything is in place. Let's go with our first story. All right. So I'm quite sure we lost our king of music. We lost our music maestro. We lost a really important part of the music industry. Quincy Jones, called the master of all things musical. He passed away at 91, and 91 is actually a very good run. And I always say this, I don't know if to you it seems like this, but it feels like 91 in this day and age is still really young. I'm like looking for people to live like to 107, right? So it feels really young, but in that young 91 years, he crammed in a lot of different things. He played the trumpet with Lionel Hampton. He produced several albums, among them Michael Jackson's Thriller. He produced that big effort for USA for Africa, We Are the World. Also, he did the score for The Color Purple and the TV show Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He scored movies In the Heat of the Night, and he was also a charmer. Now, what I want you all to do, would you please put in the chat what your favorite project or song that Quincy Jones has worked on in the chat? So it could be a movie that he worked on musically. It could be his songs or songs that he's produced, let me know what your favorite is. So I have a story, and so I never actually got to meet him, but this had to be 2017. I was at NATP, which is the National Association of Television Program Executives. You know, that's one of the things I usually go to every year. And NATP is the premier place where television shows are bought and sold. And so there was a session, and guess who was there? It was Quincy Jones and Norman Lear. I was in the front row. It was amazing. And so, I'm covering it and writing and videotaping. And guess what he did? He smiled at me and he winked. I was like, for me? Small me, a whole me. So I was like, oh, he's seen me. And it's like, not like there was anybody else around me. So I knew that it was for me. So that was a Quincy Jones moment that I remember. So, and then maybe if some of you have some moments where you actually got to meet him, let me know what that moment was like. All right, we're going to go to some comments and see what's what. Let's see. Queen B says, I'm in Sacramento, but looking forward to visiting your daughter in Japan. You just got a passport. Wonderful. You may not come back. Anyway, and I wouldn't blame you if you didn't. But Japan is wonderful from what I understand. I have childhood friends who are Japanese who moved back when we were little. Her mother used to babysit us, and that is how I learned to use chopsticks at 4. So shout out to Miwa. Our babysitter, Miwa Koro. Shout out. Let's see. Yes, he did pass away. Secret Garden. Yes. So Betty is saying that on Instagram, is saying one of her favorites is Secret Garden. Yes, that's a compilation with it's Barry White and El DeBarge. And who are the other two on there? There are 2 others, and I can't remember. Somebody can help me. Why Terry said her favorite is the Sanford and Son theme song. Yeah, you know what? And I love it because it's also a way, like whenever I see somebody's trashy house or whatever, I will send the Sanford and Son theme song. So it's a way to throw shade too. I love it. Miss T, welcome. Let's see. Tomorrow. Oh, okay. So Joni Bread Butterfly says tomorrow's video with Tevin Campbell and the Young Musicians. And that was actually the song we sang when we were graduating from high school. So yes, Tomorrow by Tevin Campbell. Love that. So many, says Fantastic Record and Film Works. The Dude, Mellow Madness. Yeah, there are a lot. He had his hands in almost everything, right? Let's see. I'll Be Sure. Thank you. I'll Be Sure was one of the others. And there's one other. Let's see. West Africa. Did he produce the music for The Wiz? Yes, he did. I believe he did the entire score, if I'm not mistaken, but he did produce the music for The Wiz. Yes. So Vibes Wellness Woman, welcome. Tuscany Blue says anything MJ that he did, his relationship with Frank Sinatra and others of the Rat Pack, Secret Garden, also Barry White and J.I. Who's J.I.? Let me know. And artist James Ingram. Okay. And Tamia works with Tevin Campbell. Yes. That whole Back on the Block album, that compilation of artists, just stellar. Vibes Wellness Woman says Patty Austin. And yes, the entire score. Thank you. Roots soundtrack. Tone. Definitely. Da, 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 da. Okay, see, I'm going into the whole thing, and you see me. That I love the Root soundtrack. He is a musical master indeed. Let's see what's over here. Let's see. Also a charmer. Yes, exactly. So here we go. Ask Mark Ward says word is that Quincy is now working with Michael Jackson. You know what? I can't with you on We Were the World. Ask Mark Ward. Yes. And I know he would appreciate that. Definitely. Terry Johnson online. Welcome. And she says the Dude album as well. Ask Mark Ward says favorite is definitely the Thriller album. Rock with you. Absolutely, absolutely. Also, she says Barry White and James Ingram sang on Secret Garden 2. Thank you. Yes. So Barry White, James Ingram, El DeBarge, and wait, who was the other one? Um, I'll be sure. Okay, there we go. The four, right? The urban rat pack, if you will. Alicia May said, "Oh, Q's juke joint, the whole album." Yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yeah. The way he was able to bring together artists, there's just too much to even mention. And we've lost quite a few greats this year, but when you look at the body of work that Quincy Jones has produced, it is unparalleled, completely unparalleled. So you will definitely be missed, but people are never gone as long as their music and their works live on. So we're proud of you and thank you so much for sharing yourself with, and condolences to the family, all of his children, condolences, and thank you for sharing your dad with us. All right, let's see. Miss Bespoke is here. Hello, hello. Bessie is screaming. Mark Ward, I don't know when your Netflix special is coming out, but absolutely. Let's see. Well, this woman said he and Stevie work together. Absolutely. Alicia Baxley, welcome. Thank you. And Queen Bee says, we did lose some greats. May his soul rest in peace. Amen. Amen. And amen. Jesus Black, man, it is good to have you. All right. Well, so off of that, thank you so much for sharing. I think sometimes, again, this is a way to keep our favorites alive by sharing what we appreciate about them. So thank you for sharing here. This is going to be a nice feel-good media scope, I think. Me thinks. So let's keep going. We've got more stories to talk about. And look at 21 minutes and we've only talked about one story, but that's the nature of MediaScope, folks. That's exactly what we do here. So if we get through 2 stories today, I am very surprised, but we may get to 3. Let's see. All right. Let's go to the next photo. If I can find you. Are you kidding me? Okay, hold on. What happens is when you upload some of these things, they don't upload in the right order and some things are skipped. All right, here we go. So I'm uploading it now. That's the music, the beauty of being able to do things on the fly. So here we go. All right. Hollywood. That was awful. I'm sorry. I'm not warmed. All right. So what am I talking about when it comes to that? We are actually talking about what is going to happen to Hollywood under this new administration. Put your best guesses in the chat of what you think now that we are different. I'll say it that way. What do you think is going to happen to Hollywood, to production, to news? What do you think? I can take that down because that's just a picture of the Hollywood sign. So, okay, let me explain what some people are saying. So, according to the Wrap, this could mean for Hollywood, for the production side of it, consolidation, because they would lift. It's assumed that this administration would lift a lot of regulations that are anti-consolidation. What I mean by that, more mergers, okay, that would create more super companies. So the reason that you don't have so many, you have to go through hoops and get mergers approved and such, because what you don't want is companies conspiring to take over markets, the certain segment of the market, and it's all for them. That's not free competition, right? So there's regulation to keep that in place, including for the media industry. Well, we could see an end to some regulation, the Wrap is saying, and so that could cause more consolidation. Okay, so you'll have more of these big media companies. So, and it was already consolidated. Let's be clear. there are very few media companies that own most of the commercial media. I'm not talking about independent, but see, even the things that you think people are like, Tubi is owned by Fox. Okay, so you see things that are independent and they really have a parent company, right? Sling, which I love. Sling, you think is independent? No, Sling is owned by Dish. Okay, so all of these things that we use are owned by bigger companies. I think we will see more of that. We could possibly see more of that. So that's what happens on the business side. But what people are fearing, people that are actors, news people, etc., is censorship. Also self-censorship, where people are afraid to say things and report things for fear of retribution, right? So that's what the talk is right now. But I'm wondering what you all think about this in terms of what now for the media industry. What do you think is going to happen? And you could just give your best guess. I understand. Let's see what's going to happen. So, this is very interesting. Jasmine says AI takeover. So could you expand a little bit about that? Well, what about the AI takeover? It's because it's already starting to happen. Are you saying that under this new administration, there would be even more allowances for AI to take over? Let me know what you mean by that. For the record, Mark Ward wants you to know that he did not escape from a research lab. Okay, that's good to know, Mark Ward. So let's see what's happening over on Instagram. Yeah, bestie, yes, like a monopoly, it's etc. Yes, that's essentially what could happen. That's what we're so fewer. It doesn't mean it will happen, but it could happen because fewer regulations would open the door and open the way for more consolidation of media companies, right? So you will see more of these huge Disney Fox mergers. It could be also more than one company. And I'm just guessing here, but we could start to see when regulation is not an issue, this is when you see more of this start to happen. That's not really that great for the market overall. You think we see more of the same stuff on TV now? Just saying. So, yes, Hollywood Swingers, Queen Bee, exactly. So think about this. Hey, Erica, how are you? And Bryson said that's a great question. It is, because we all use media. And further, what, if anything, do you think this means for those of us that are independent? So, folks, this is why I'm telling you all not to put all your eggs in one content basket. Some people are like, well, TikTok is my bread and butter. And this is why they are fighting tooth and nail for TikTok not to be ousted from the US. Because the thing on the table now is ByteDance can stay. TikTok can stay if they divest from ByteDance. They cannot, you can't do both. Otherwise, you have to leave. So people are, creators are like, oh, we're going to march on the Hill. Marching for what? You don't own it. And you shouldn't have your entire media strategy tied up in one platform anyway, because if that platform goes away, that's the end of your career. So you need to diversify, and you need to say, okay, what does that mean for those of us that are creating, like on Instagram, making YouTube videos? Does it not have an effect? It certainly does have an effect, but I want to know what effect you think it will have. Hey, Charlene, how are you? Welcome. Thank you for being here. Doughboy, AKA, how are you? Welcome. Flora Brown, how are you? Welcome. Thank you for being here. Also, Johnny Ray, After Dark with Johnny Ray, has joined us, and Terry Johnson Online is over here too. So there are wide-reaching implications for not just the traditional linear media that we know, but independent media as well. And let me say this. This also is the time for you to look at independent media, whether it's starting your own or getting with independent media, because there could possibly be constraints. Especially, we already know that the side that won was not terribly happy with news coverage. So there's been talk, and it doesn't mean that this is going to happen. I'm just putting out there what the talk has been. Some people are talking about, well, if it gets to the point of extreme, they could possibly do away with all of the other media, right? The other news media, and make Fox News like the national media. So like how some government owned media, like how some other countries, they don't have all these different channels. They have the one, and it's government owned. That could possibly be, I don't know if that's very probable, but this is some talk that I've heard. So I'm paying attention to see in media circles what people are talking about and what this means for news. This is definitely going to mean something for news. Definitely, it's going to mean something for entertainment, because let's not forget that a large majority of Hollywood really backed the Democratic side. And so that may not bode well for them in the long run. We shouldn't even be talking about this being a thing, but it is a real thing. So we really have to think about that. What's going to happen to the NAACP Image Awards? So that's interesting. So because they have, now let's talk about this. They have already done away with, they've made the concept of DEI a pariah, a bad word. They've already done away with, why am I losing it now? You know what I'm trying to say. They did away with it at colleges. This is also a reason why there was a lawsuit brought against the Fearless Fund for this. So with under the guise of this is unfair, right? So media organizations are going to have to be very careful with how things are worded to avoid lawsuits. So you're not going to be able to, and this is what I'm just thinking, you are not going to be able to say this is an award to award X for XYZ, because there are those extreme people who will say, well, what about me? Let me not roll my eyes. Let me just report and without conjecture. So there are those people that will say, well, the what about meism? And so because of that, they could be subject to lawsuits. So Bryson, to your point, I'm thinking they're going to need to look at the wording of what they do so it does not violate things. That's where we are. That's exactly where we are, unfortunately. Let's take some comments. Rachel Bickerstaff, hello. Thank you. Affirmative action. I don't know why I couldn't think of it. Yes, affirmative action is what I'm talking about. Hello, Rachel. Welcome. Okay, and Flora says HBCUs are in danger. So it's that same thing. So, but here's the thing. With HBCUs, etc., that is the mission, right? The mission was put in place because we could not go elsewhere. However, it had never been about only having people of African descent there. I went to Howard University. Half of the dental school was from other places, and in graduate school, it's completely diverse. So it was never about excluding at all. So I will say, though, in the case of media and other things, the wording will have to be very clear and very vague. You'll have to be very vague about it to continue the mission as is. Just say, hey, Noah, the high priest, how are you? Thank you for coming. Eyes on me. Welcome. Flora says you'll roll your eyes for me. I'm like, listen, because if I roll them anymore, they will be stuck in the back of my head. Let's go over to the other side and see what folks have to say. Here we go. Oh, stop it. When MediaScope is purchased by Rupert Murdoch, I'm going to have to unsubscribe. I would never sell it to Rupert Murdoch. So you don't have to worry. Jasmine says, I definitely think censorship will be an issue in all forms of media, including social media. Indeed. So this level of unabashed freedom that we have now to really say what we want without consequence, that could be something that goes by the wayside. all you have to do is look at Venezuela and the way it started in Venezuela. It was a little bit at first, and then it got progressively more extreme. So, and one of the things when you're trying to censor is you censor media, you censor news, you censor journalists. So there could be a fair amount of that. Again, it remains to be seen, but this is just what I'm hearing in circles. And Mark Ward says, why should we worry about TikTok now? We will have a security leak. You know what? You're right. It will be on X tomorrow, so don't worry about it. So I to be honest, I don't know. I'm not saying that TikTok is not a concern or was not a concern, but have we proven that we have bigger fish to fry now? TikTok, in a sense, is really the least of our worries. So the tech sector is too invested in MAGA, she says, for me, which leads me to believe that a ramp up of AI is one thing they'll get in exchange for their money. Okay. So I see what you're saying, that in exchange for money, the money and support, they will be able to do what they want essentially with AI unchecked. I get it. And Jasmine says, didn't they say they would dismantle the FCC? You know, I think that is what they are wanting to do. They're looking at dismantling a lot of government agencies. The FCC, listen, if we don't need anything else, we need the FCC, we need the FTC, we need the EPA, we need the FDA. Although I don't know how effective FDA is with all the nonsense we have in our food now, but it is, we do need some oversight. And bringing it back to media, I know that there are going to be some changes. So you can sit there and stew and wait for the changes to happen, or you can do something to preempt things. That's what I'm saying. Excuse me. All right. So we need all the alphabet agencies. I'm saying you need oversight. You absolutely do. You absolutely do. Folks, let me see. Just Sue Q Hay says we need the Lord ASAP. Amen. And Plush, how are you? Plush Life Media is here. How are you? Welcome. Welcome, Tracy. Let's see. Tuscany Blue asks now, and see, I'm also not wanting us to get into an extreme political discussion, because it can go that way, definitely. And I do understand that if you would like to come back at some point and talk about that, we could do it in a separate show, definitely. But to Tuscany Blues points, there has already been, and this is through text message, and it's been on social, a flood of messages going out to people across the country. Now, again, the thing is, this is why we have to just sit and look and think, where is this coming from? Is this coming from a, quote, reputable source, meaning this is actually something that was intended to happen? Was this a, joking, because taking advantage of the situation? So we just have to be what is the thing that, even though I abhor the monarchy, keep calm and carry on? I think that's what we need to do, because we're in such a state, and it is understandable why we're in such a state, but we don't want that state to cloud our movement and to cloud our judgment, if that makes sense. So I don't want to know more about that, to be honest, but I need to know more to understand exactly where the root of that. Does anybody know the root of where that came from? It's interesting. Let's see. Flora says AI without controls is scary. The FDA has failed in their original mission, as has the Diabetes Association. It's like they're the pro-diabetes association. Listen, we all know that when things get solved, there's no more need for those agencies, right? Just saying. I'm not saying they don't want to solve things, but when you look at things, it seems on the surface anyway. The 36th Vision has joined us. It is good to see you. Also, Classic C Gem says oversight as well as checks and balances. Indeed, indeed. And Oh, no. Tuscany Blue, you're good. You're good. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I just don't want us, because it's very easy to get into a deep philosophical and political discussion. So no worries. It's good to bring up. I just want I don't want, we're already, I think a lot of us are already, there's some people that told me they couldn't get out of bed. And I'm like, wow, it's deep. I don't want to be the cause of more dissonance and anxiety. So I'm like, all right, well, so I don't mind talking about it like on another show. But so you didn't do anything wrong. Please don't apologize. That's fine to bring in. Bertie Lynn, how are you? Flora says better to talk about what positives we can do moving forward. Well, and this is the thing. So let's talk about what can you do moving forward when it comes to that. Definitely. I still have something up. Hold on. We need all the alphabet. There we go. And Arlesia says, yes, RIP to DJ Clark Kent. I don't think I've been on since, or I have, but we didn't talk about it. So, and much love to the CQ family and the Originals family, God's favorite DJ. Yes, amen. If you're those of you who don't know, DJ Clark Kent passed away. Has it been 2 weeks yet? Big shock. May he rest well. May he be DJing up for everybody that we've lost, and hopefully he gets to collaborate with Quincy Jones up there. All right. So, hey, Arne Cooper, how are you? Welcome. So, Bessie says, yes, remain positive and optimistic. Yes. And Just Sue says, pray and pray some more. Absolutely. A week. Thank you. It's been a week. So what can you do when it comes to media? So produce media. Produce. Don't think that because they produce what we have in terms of what we say, whether it's you're entertaining or speaking truth to power, that's what we have. Do it. Don't stop simply because this is not a wake up call to stop doing what you're doing. To the contrary, do more of what you're doing. Do it and independently. And see, those of us that were always relying on our stuff to be on a big platform, this is exactly why you cannot rely on any large platform to put you on. First of all, they're not interested in putting you on. Let's be clear. They were never interested in the first place. They work with who they already know and who they want to work with. That's it. I've said this ad nauseum. But now, especially since there may be some scrutiny, this is an even better time for you to start your own, to collaborate with people who are doing things like me. I have my own network. It's called Indie Soup Media, and we have fantastic creators. Do that type of thing. I wasn't begging anybody to put me on because, first of all, I think I'm wonderful, but they don't. So I'm like, I don't beg people. I'm not going to. So, and this is not to say don't try and get your things on a large platform. That's not what I'm saying. But don't let that be the only thing that matters. They exist because of us. Let's be clear. If we did not watch the programming, if we did not buy into the vision, they would not exist. So there's an awful lot of power that the media consumer has. I think we can replicate that same type of thing independently. But that doesn't mean push them aside. I think there is room for everything. After all, the linear media was the progenitor to who we are and the predecessor to what we have now on social media. It's just facts. So we can all work in concert together, but stop only waiting to sell your big project to Netflix. If you don't get on YouTube and produce this thing yourself, I can't help you. You're one of the people that I leave at the base of the mountain as I climb to the top. Just saying. And you can complain all you like at the base of the mountain because Netflix is not listening. I guarantee. Just saying. You can try, but don't let that be it. I've seen people waste so much time, like 7 years, when in 7 years, they could have produced the thing themselves. But because they're so stuck on the old way of media, well, I can't help you, sister. I can't help you, brother. Too bad. Hey, Don Reed Legacy, how are you? I'm just saying, we need each other. Yes. Why? There. I just sit in wonderment sometimes at people, and I'm like, is that right? I just wonder why you wait for someone else to tell you, now you may create. Does that make too much of sense? Do more. Exactly, Jesu Q. Exactly. Exactamundo. Here we go. I hear that, says Alicia Baxley. Let's go on over to the other side. Food Plane, how are you? He got cocktails. Yes, because I know the Queen of Food Truckery and Minister of Libation is not able to come today. So, and he also says hello to me and fellow media scopers. Nice to see you. Nice to have you here, my friend. Thank you. Finally, I'm able to get back. And yesterday I couldn't get back. I said, I have to get on today. And you know, today still something. I said, well, that's too bad. I just have to come on. I get pulled in so many directions. And Jasmine says, yes, produce more and support the produce. Thank you. That's the other end of it. Support the people who are producing, are putting things out there. If you see, listen, and you all know this is the truth. If I'm following you and I see you go live, I will be in there. You know, I go in everybody's live, even if I can't stay the entire time. I go in every single body's live. I watch everybody's videos because I know we are who we have in this space and we have to support each other. Plus, there's some people that are just damn good, just have some great stuff. So support each other. The only reason all of these media started somewhere, right? They started with support that grew over time. It is not an impossible feat. I'm just saying. Anyway, let's see. Mark Ward ordered on the rocks. Anybody on Instagram have an order for the Food Plane? By the way, he is an amazing chef, has been a chef for over 20 years. He is on YouTube. You can check out his channel, The Food Plane. Every Saturday at 10 a.m. he visits different countries, visits in video, different countries, and cooks from each of those different countries. Let me tell you, I'm waiting for him to come to Nigeria. When you do Nigeria, I can't wait. So, there we go. Okay, let's keep going. We could get on so we've got 15 minutes left because I said I was going to give you a full hour. It's 7:00. So 15, and I know I started at 6:15. So we've got 15 minutes left. Okay, so absolutely. Food Plane, you also know that I'm not kind. Well, I try to be kind, but if I don't think somebody is good, I just say nothing. So that must mean you're damn good. Okay, let's see. Let's go over to our next story. Did it populate here? It did. Here we go. Oh, here we go. So in case you did not know, Season 5 of Stranger Things. First of all, is anybody a Stranger Things fan? I am not. I don't watch Stranger Things. Stranger Things, for those of you who don't know, is on Netflix, and it is a period piece. It is set in the 1980s, and it's a sci-fi adventure type. That's what I would call it. And so the final season premiere is going to be in 2025, and it is, the 5th season. The teaser came Wednesday as a treat for Stranger Things Day. So November 6th, which was yesterday, was Stranger Things. Oh, really? November 6th had to be Stranger Things Day? Now I know what happened. Anyway, so November 6th was Stranger Things Day. How appropriate. So again, and they're not going to, fans are thinking that there was going to be some sort of interruption because the strikes, remember the writers' strikes actually had the effect of delaying a lot of things. So fans were thinking, well, we were going to get another, because I'm not a fan, but we were going to get another push. But no, rest assured, it will be the final season will happen in 2025. And there's going to be a time jump. So for those of you who watch, apparently this takes place in 1986. So they're going to start season 5 in 1987. So apparently, this is what it seems like. The entire show, all seasons have taken place in 1986. So now they're starting in 1987, in the fall of 1987. So that's a shift as well. So yeah. So for those of you who are fearful that it wasn't going to come, you are going to get another season of Stranger Things in 2025. Stranger things have happened. All right. Let's see. So Food Plane says, I remember the original. However, I was not into it. I have not seen the series. I didn't even know there was an original. I didn't even know. So thank you for that information. Let's see. Alicia Baxley says, my grandkids watch Stranger Things. Okay. Wow. And Bryson says Stranger Things is coming back in the new year. Absolutely. Classic C Gems has not seen Stranger Things. Oh, Rachel Bickerstaff is into it, so she likes it. All right. Let's see. And Bryson asks, am I ready for the Grammy nomination announcement? I suppose I am, but you know, Bryson, how I feel about all these award shows. There's too many. Way too many award shows, in my opinion. Now, again, I will say this for the umpteenth time. I agree with people congratulating themselves. I think they work hard and they do deserve awards and accolades. I don't want to sit for 4 hours and watch them congratulate themselves. I am good if they did the red carpet fashions, because I love that, and give me the highlights of who won what, and I'm good. I can watch, and guess what? The day after these awards, or even the same day sometimes, you're able to watch the performances that may have happened. And everybody's talking about, such and such. You could watch it on YouTube, on their channels. So I'm like, well, there's no need for me to suffer through 4 hours of what's the name. But if you like award shows, that's it's cool, I guess. But it says something that year over year, the viewership of award shows goes down. So here's the thing. Award shows have also not leaned into the new generation, and they have not leaned into new technology, into new media. They're still very stuck on being on linear television. And here's the thing. Who watches that? It's not Gen Z. Gen Z doesn't watch television like we do, right? And we don't even watch television like we do. I like TV. I have it on for noise, but here's the thing. Some days I could go all day without ever watching linear TV at all. I'm watching YouTube. I'm a YouTube junkie, so I'm always watching something on YouTube, basically. Gen Z is watching TikTok. So unless they're going to start to lean into those things a little bit more, the viewership is just going to go down. In fact, I think they need to have tandem programming, and some of them have started to do that, but they do some segments. I know I need them to do tandem programming a lot. If you're going to do a linear televised Grammys, Emmys, Oscars, Golden Globes, Tonys, My Mama's Feet Awards, if you're going to do that, I also need you to do some tandem related events that will appeal to Gen Z. Listen, the people you need to appeal to are Gen Z and Gen Alpha. They're the ones that are going to be around for a while. Why you're not doing it, I don't know. Listen, I'll never understand people, but it is what it is. Let's see what folks have to say. Candy joining us from Tokyo, Japan, and it is, wow. So it should be in Tokyo. Is it 8 in the morning for you? It should be. Should be 8 in the morning in Tokyo, if I'm not mistaken. Let me know. Rachel Bickerstaff said that season 4 was too strange. Well, the show is called Stranger Things. I'm sure that season 5 will be every bit as strange and wacky. But, you know, it's not a show for me. It's like I'm about to talk about another show that I was not into, that there are some new developments. Let's see. I just made up an award show, Your Mama's Feet Awards. Okay. I just made it up. Anyway, let's see. Do we have any more? Let's see. So Food Plane says this. YouTube is Google search in video form. Absolutely. Back in the day, you needed an encyclopedia. Now we have all the information in video form. YouTube is amazing. Listen, YouTube is is phenomenal. If you're looking for video onto the how-tos, if you're looking for how to do something, the first place I go to is YouTube, right? Making sure that I've been able to do so much stuff by watching YouTube videos. Seriously. Arlesia is laughing at the awards comments. Listen, that's just me. Oh, look who's here. Shawana Kennedy is here. Hello, Shawana. Hey, welcome, welcome in. Welcome in. And Jasmine says, I just watched the clips of the award segments online. Yes. Who? I don't want to sit there and again, no shade. No shade, because I mean, I'm sure many of us aspire to win some of these things, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's great, and it's a great goal to have. How the hell soever, I don't expect people, if I ever get one of those awards, I'm not expecting people to sit and watch all 4 hours. Not at all. Because I'm like, once I get my award, I'm like, can I go? I'm kidding. I would never do that. I have too much couth to do that. But anyway, Stranger Things is coming back in 2025. All right, let's we've got 5 minutes. So I have to we've got to do a lightning round. I don't know if we can get stuff in, but there's a few things that I want to get in, and let's go to there we go. So speaking of shows that I don't watch, I never watch, Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is actually in early development of a movie at Warner Brothers. Terry, if you're still here, you remember I talked about this on Friday. But yeah, so for those of you who are fans of Westeros, and is it Aesop's Fables? I don't know. But those of you that are into it, they are quietly, you heard what I said? Quiet. It's like they're whispering, like that. Quietly. Developing a film based on George R.R. Martin's fantasy universe. So they have at least one film that they're setting for this. So the original thing is that the showrunners, David Benioff and Dan Weiss, what they wanted to do when the season ended in 2019, they wanted to end with 3 feature films, not just end the series. They wanted to end with 3 feature films. So it looks like it's going that way. Right. And this is also an attempt of Warner and other big studios will probably follow suit to cross-pollinate shows, right? The big shows that do well for them and turn them into that movie universe, right? So they're trying to cross-pollinate. That's more money because definitely fans were not happy, from what I understood, that fans were not very happy with the way things ended. So this is probably a way for them to end a little bit neater. Are you going to satisfy fans? No, because these fans tend to be very fanatical, which is where the word fan comes from. And nobody will ever be completely satisfied. But for those of you that are but put in the chat if you are a Game of Thrones fan. I tried. I watched 3 and I didn't like it. So it's just not for me. And that's okay. The same thing with, excuse me, but, and Kevin gets me for this, Downton Abbey. And I love British television. I grew up on British television, but I couldn't get into Downton Abbey. And Kevin said, he was so appalled. So I said, well, maybe I just need to watch it further. And I'm a television aficionado, but I could not get into it. Just like I can't get into this Game of Thrones. So I won't be going to see the movie, but let me know if you are a GOT fan and if you are looking forward to films in the franchise. Let's see what folks have to say. Hey, Divine Right is here. Bucket hat vibes. Yes. Why do my hair when I can put on a bucket hat? And I was out all day. There was no doing of this hair. So had it is. Sweet Mama Midnights is here. Bryson says, if you watch House of the Dragon, they're having their last season. And House of the Dragon is in the Game of Thrones franchise. But I understand it's also very, it's a lot. It's a lot. Divine Right says it's not for me either. No. No. And Classic C Gems has not. Rachel Bickerstaff, are you saying, oh no, in terms of you have not watched Game of Thrones, or oh no, that I am not a fan? I don't know. Lovey, how are you? Geek of Chic, how are you? Geek of Chic, I need to have you back on the show. We never got to have part 2 of our conversation, and I would love to know what's going on in your world right now. So anyway, I don't see too many. So Alicia Baxley says, me either. After Dark with Johnny Ray says, Dragon Show is sad when dragons get hurt. Dragons get hurt? You see why I don't watch this nonsense? You see why I don't watch this rubbish? I'm not. I don't know. That's okay. You all can have my share of Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. All of it. So Divine Right has something for you. We need some free drinks and desserts after the last couple of days we've had. Stop by the MediaScope food truck and get some free. You know what that doesn't that feel good? That made me feel good right there. We've got free drinks and desserts on the MediaScope food truck before we shut it down for the night. Oh, it's so sad. See, sadness. Who has time? See, I don't have time for sad now. Alicia says, I don't get it. I don't get it either. But maybe it's not for me to get. Everything is not for everyone. I do understand that. Some people are diehard GOT people to the nth degree, and that's okay. Let's take some comments over here. Let's see. So Kim says, I could see GOT as a movie. I could too. If it's well written, I'm sure it will draw in fans. Let's see. So how many thrones are there? The show has been on forever. So it was on for 7 years, 2011 to 2018, I believe it was on. Then they had that whole break. We got into pandemic, and then I don't know. So it was on for a long time. It was on for a long time. Let's see. Food Plane says, I'm excited to see Gladiator 2. I can hardly wait to see Denzel knock it out as he always does. Also, are they finally making a Voltron movie? They are finally making a Voltron movie and a few more Lord of the Rings movies. Now, I knew about the Lord of the Rings. I had heard Twitterings of Voltron. All I have to say is you better not mess it up. I rushed home every day after school to watch Voltron and He-Man and Scooby-Doo. Voltron was my thing. Listen, everybody in my class, we were all obsessed with Voltron. And I was among the people who knew how to draw. So I'm an artist as well. I think you all know. But that was our thing. Draw Voltron. I was so into those. And I think I told you all this before. I've always been like a person into like sci-fi, action, adventure. That has always been my genre. So I really loved Star Wars. I'm more of a Star Trek person, but I did like Star Wars a lot when I was young. So I remember one of my friends when I was at Tony House, he and I used to play all the time. And I was going to go over to his house one day. And he was like, I brought, remember the chocolate Easter eggs? So I brought some of those and they had the foil. So I gave him some. I said, hey, I got some Easter eggs. Have some. So I got some and I went to throw it away. He said, no, wait, don't throw them away. We could use it to build a C-3PO and R2-D2. I looked at him like, my friend, you are brilliant. And we just, oh wait, that's how you know we were nerdy kids, because rather than throw away our foil, we were going to build robots. Look at us. Look at us. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that story. But needless to say, I've always enjoyed sci-fi. You can tell from that. Let's see. Oh, Henry Cavill is in Voltron. Wow. And Mark Ward said, it felt good until I stopped by and got an emoji. Where's my cookie? It's coming, Mark. It's coming. It's coming. Let's see. Mark also says if they go by their usual schedule, Game of Thrones will be released. The film will be released in 2032. Listen, I can't. That's what I'm saying. So I don't know. I never watched it, but I always saw the thing. When is it coming back? When is it coming back? In fact, remember Westworld? Did it ever come back? There was a whole thing of it supposed to come back. Did it just get canceled? That was so weird. The whole thing is so weird. Anyway, You're right. You can't mess this up. You cannot mess this up. Are you hearing me? You may not mess this up. But he says if it's done right, it could be a major hit. And that I 100% agree with. Okay, thank you, Bryson. Nope, it got canceled. Yeah, it just one day it was like on Family Matters where Jamie never came back down the stairs. It just went up the stairs and never came back down. So let's see what's going on Instagram before we end. Gary Lanham Group, how are you? Greetings from Baltimore. How are you? Yay. I'm glad you're up in Baltimore. Say hello to everybody up there for me. And Bryson says they've got Wicked Part 1 and Gladiator 2 coming out the same day. Yes, I had heard about that. LaShondra Tinsley is also here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Johnny Ray. Oh, who is Voltron? Yes, Voltron was a cartoon. It is actually a Japanese animated cartoon. If I'm not mistaken, it was Japanese animated, which is why it had some feeling of anime to it if you ever looked at it. So I was in love with Voltron. I love cartoons. Listen, I'm a TV addict, so I watched anything. Except I wasn't too keen on 60 Minutes, but I ended up watching it because my mother was watching it, and you get into it. So it's either that or go to bed. So 60 Minutes it is. Let's see. And Divine Right says, my son has this massive Voltron toy. It's so awesome. He got it when he was like 6 or 7. Oh, how cool. How cool. He probably wants to hold on to that one. That's going to be a collector's item. Let's see. LaShondra just stopped by to say hello. Well, thank you for coming in. And Gary Lanham said he is doing great. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And Johnny Ray says that all happened. On what? All My Children. Tad's brother went upstairs and never came down. The Martins never mentioned him again. You must have been sitting with your mother while she was watching soap operas, if you remember that. I couldn't stand soap operas. That's why certain shows don't appeal to me now, because I never liked soap operas, because our babysitters will watch them all the time. I'm like, oh, isn't there something else on? So it didn't appeal to me. So even now, shows that have a soap opera-like drama quality, I don't watch because I don't like soap operas. So interesting. Oh, you're working on content. No worries, no worries, no worries. Johnny Red Butterfly is asking for fish tacos. So maybe we could serve up some fish tacos before we go. And she has. Fantastic. He said, Divine Right said, yeah, that it's not being sold in the flea market business. I hear that. Hold on to that, Voltron. Folks, all right. Well, we are just at time, just 7 minutes over. Thank you for hanging out with me for this hour. I hope you enjoyed. We got through 3 stories today. I keep promising I'm going to try and do better, but yeah, it's not going to happen. So watch my social media as I post some of these other stories that are happening that you can grasp on too. You can also, on Fridays, I'm with the Biz Chicks at 11 a.m. on YouTube and Facebook. It is the Biz Chicks, and myself and Terry, TJ, Terralina, and Francine, we all talk about tech and media. So join us and I talk about some more stories then. So I kind of use that as an extension. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. And I'm going to end the way I always do. Next week, I'll be on my regular camera. So thanks for putting up with this camera today. I love you for watching. I bid you adieu. You guys, myself, all of this news, we're going to exit this way, stage left. I'll see you next week. Cheers.
Close the doors, walk across the corridor. We got something to show you. Media is our repertoire. Fed with the same news, no channel to use. Cruise control mentalities. Here we offer you. We gon' show you what you play. The content it never stays. We're positive and uplifting. Once a week the scope gifted. Let's hear from fake. Hydration like Boucher. Don't focus on a date. We always here for you. It's dope when you emotionally broke. Settle in our knowledge and conversations, don't make them yours. What we want is a limit, not your hands on the torch. Take it easy like Sundays on the porch. Media is when you emotionally broke.